It's important to know what your frost dates are because those dates will help you determine when to plant. A lot of plants die instantly when the temperatures drop below freezing, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius. Temperature is one of the main reasons why certain plants can only be grown in certain areas. So it's one of the reasons why there are no palm trees in Norway or tulips in southern Florida. Certain plants are temperature sensitive, and all plants will have their preferred temperatures/climates. You will want to choose plants that can grow well in your climate. There are plenty of plants that can withstand temperatures below freezing no problem. These plants are referred to as cold hardy. So when you hear or read that something is cold hardy, that's what it means. It can withstand freezing temperatures, usually down to a certain point. So all plants will have their own tolerance for hot and cold, and it's important to understand that fundamental. Every area will have a determined average last frost date based on the last 30 years of data, which is a determined date in which it is safe to plant non cold hardy plants because frost almost never occurs after that date. So, just to give you an example, I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, in the US, in Zone 6. My average last frost date is April 22nd. So I know that after April 22nd, I'm not going to get a frost and I'm safe to plant non cold hardy plants like, say, tomatoes. If I were to try and plant my tomatoes outdoors before that frost date, my little seedlings run the risk of being instantly killed in a frost. So, again, reminder that I would search this out based on zip code because the frost dates can change a lot, even city to neighboring city, because elevation will affect this. Similarly, it is important to know your first frost date in the fall or the date in which your first frost of the year usually occurs, which will signal the death of a lot of your crops. So in my area in Zone 6, that date is October 10th. So every year, somewhere around October 10th, we'll get a hard freeze and most things in my vegetable garden will die. And it signals the end of the harvest and cleaning out my garden and putting it to bed. Many of you will be somewhere in that date range, possibly, give or take, even a few months. The key is find out what your dates are and write them on a calendar and memorize them because you will need to know them as you determine when is the best time to plant. So what if you have no frost date, which is a lot of you in these warmer zones, usually 9 and above? Frost never occurs in your area. If this is the case, your growing season is going to be much longer. And so depending on where you are able to grow possibly more, but keep in mind that the amount of hours of sunlight that you get, which is reduced in the winter, will affect your yields, as well as how high your summer temperatures get. Which brings me to the next basic concept: know your temperatures.